Coming up next is a topic, the pivot. And deliberating on this topic is Mr. Rajesh Chheda from Goa, a CFP and a CA, and pursuing his CFA at the moment. Mr. Rajesh believes he's a learner for life, a student for life, and he would like to share his experiences and journey being in the field of financial services for the past 3 decades. In light of this, I have the pleasure of inviting Mr. Rajesh to share his experiences and learning and journey. Please.
My dear friends, the dictionary meaning of the pivot, the Oxford Dictionary mentions it as, is the central point on which a mechanism turns or oscillates. My journey, 40 years back, 1982, I was in 10th standard in the batch prepared to go for science. So probably the first pivot happened from science. I took a decision before science. I went for commerce. Then what ensued after that was to pursue chartered accountancy. I became a chartered accountant, but within a month, I became a stockbroker, second pivot. From stockbroking, when the Sensex was 1000, I added life insurance. From there, the pivot went to mutual fund distribution, and one of the early times when RIA was announced, I went and I became a RIA. The next pivot that recently happened is from RIA, I became back to MFD, but I call it as MFD plus because there were so many things added to that. In the pandemic times, calling myself various names, wearing many caps, I called myself a sustainability advisor. Now, having taken you all through these things, does it appear to be challenging? Is it something different that you keep on changing, you're not focused? Or what exactly have we learned or we have got into? I look at it as every occasion we have to adapt to circumstances. Let me take the case of commerce. Well, that time, again, not to impress, but to impress upon you, I stood first in the Goa board, so that was the reward for having taken commerce. Being a chartered accountant and surrendering the certificate of practice, you do not surrender your knowledge, you still have it. You can connect with the clients, have a network. That could probably improve your net worth. Being a broker, well, today it has touched 60,000, and imagine I've been there from the Sensex of 1,000 till 60,000, and probably it's going to be from a 3-digit to 4-digit to 5-digit to a 6-digit mark. It's been a long journey, but during that period of time, I understood, I realized my passion for learning, passion for knowledge, and when I added life insurance, the reward that I got, it took me to a place, the mecca of all, which we call the $1 billion round table. I could manage to go for more than 10 to 20 times over there, meet and interact and learn and share the learnings back. From there, I learned the values of, say, retirement planning, and what I did is probably linking to the mutual fund. When 2006, 7, 8, I grew at 1,000% from 1 crore to 10 crores to 100 crores. I removed the 50 crores profits of my clients, told them that this is your profit, put it in an annuity. In a mutual fund, I would earn 1% a year. Here I'll earn only 2%, but after that I'll not earn. But the gratitude that we got, because in those days you could get something between 8% to 22%. Yes, 22%. If you were 80 years of age and kept it in an annuity, 1 crore of rupees, and you would get 22 lakhs per year until you die, you might not get the money back. But for people who are single or who need that money, it matters. So this was a certain thing. Yes, it was a great achievement. The company said you're number 1 in the country, so on and so forth. But coming back to all these things, where the destiny takes you and the learning for knowledge, you need to have a mentor. So sometimes we say when the Student is ready, the teacher appeared. So I found a mentor in Mayur Pai. He'll be speaking tomorrow in the US in top of the table meeting. I met him. I've interacted with him, learned from him in the last 5 years. And in that, like that, such similar courses. So I would ask you all a question. Have you asked this question to yourself? Who am I? And in order to find and discover this, I did a 100 hours training program, spending probably over $1.5 lakh for that program. And I would just like to share the 7 jewels or the ornaments that I learned from that. First, who am I? I discovered I am innocence and compassion. The world I am in, I'm living in the world of bliss. The legacy that has been inherited from my forefathers is the legacy of integrity and service. The purpose of life is to fulfill possibilities. The reason I exist is to empower financial freedom. My contribution is empowerment, and I am oneness. Now, why I'm telling about this is, while I did this course, I realized that in my journey, say the last 32 years, when I started off, my clients were 30, 40, 50 years of age. Today, the clients I've retained are 60, 70, 80 years of age. There is a phase of accumulation, which we learned. They have gone from the accumulation phase to the distribution phase. It does not stop here. The pandemic, now, when I told about insurance, what it has taught me, the pleasure you get when you can help someone at that point of time. COVID took away quite a few of our close friends, known clients. One of them, where I had suggested a term insurance, the family got 30 crores of rupees. Now imagine the satisfaction. It's not something on a celebration of the situation that happened, but at least it prevented that family from going into ruins because there were a lot of business liabilities attached to that. Looking at the perspective of risk management or looking at the perspective of all these things, the dream that you have is, can we make our future bigger than the past? This is my conclusion, where I say that from the accumulation to the distribution, I have noticed many of my clients, their families, their children are abroad. If I got an occasion during my visits to one of the meetings of the Financial Planning Association in USA, I caught up with a school friend of mine living in Orlando, and I asked her, I want to visit the world's biggest retirement village. I spent a day there. That was about 5-6 years back, and again the dots start getting connected. Her father is 93 years of age, living in Goa. Unfortunately, from a bungalow, they had to shift to an apartment because of age. Mother's got dementia, and she said, I'll give an arm and a leg if there was a senior living situation or a home. And suddenly, I awakened when I discovered, who am I? Is it possible by 2030 we can have, I come from a place called Goa that I love very much, and as a gratitude to that, can we have, Goa has a beautiful village which India can look at, and if there are, it could be a 1,000 crore project, it could be a 5,000 crore project. If I can conceive of it, if I can dream of it, and I can believe in it, I know I can achieve it. So this is my mission for 2030, which I want to empower lives and see how the things are. And let's all decide, and let's each and every one of you who's different decide to make our future bigger than our past. Thank you, and all the very best.